This video will show you how you can add external document references to CARS. It will ensure that your references are added in a manual for document development compliant way. It will make your life easier because it will automatically populate your normative and informative references table. Lastly, it will help to ensure that when documents are published, they are a coherent set. So, for example, you aren't referring to a document that's been withdrawn or hasn't yet been published itself. One thing to note is that cross-referencing within your document is not currently recommended by the Manual for Document Development and is therefore not a feature within CARS. We've preloaded a set of references into CARS. This includes the DMRB, the IANS, and all of the Eurocodes listed. In addition, as people use CARS more and more, any references that other authors use will also be available to you. So, how do we add a new reference? First, select the section and the clause you'd like to add the reference to. Over on the right-hand side, you see there's a menu item that looks like a bookmark. When I hover over it, it says References. You'll see on my screen, as it's quite small, that this pop-out window is not very big. So I'm just going to collapse the one on the left-hand side to give myself more space. We see at first that it says no references have been made. Try adding one from the reference library. At the bottom of the screen, there's a reference library button. Here we can see a list of all of the documents we just mentioned. To search for one specifically, let's say BD12, it will come up. And to add it as a reference, I just need to click on the result. And I have two options. One, to add as a normative reference, or two, add as informative. If I click on add as normative, two things happen. The first is that you see the text where my cursor was now says BD12 ref 1.n. So it's given the old DMRB reference number and also within my document given it its own reference number. When I hover my mouse over it, it then tells me the title of the document to make it a bit clearer for me. The second thing that's happened is I have a new section in my document called Normative References. It has automatically added the appropriate reference number and title, publisher, etc. for this reference. Now say for example you'd like to add a reference which doesn't currently exist in the DMRB, for example, isn't currently in the database. How do I do this? Well, I go to my reference library. The important thing to do is to search to see whether it's still there. Because other people will be adding references over time to their own documents, there's quite a high chance that it may be there already. It would be very helpful if you could always ensure that you search for references before you add them, because if we end up with duplicates of references, it will make it far harder for us to ensure that, that when publishing we have a coherent set of documents. So let's say that the reference that I want isn't here. I can just click on this new library entry button at the bottom, and it gives me the opportunity to give it a title, an author, a publisher, and its own reference if necessary. Then just clicking on add as informative or add as normative, that will then do exactly the same thing as before and add it to the library. Now, say you make a mistake and that's the incorrect reference. At the moment, document authors and owners don't have the ability to delete or edit anything in this referencing table. So please let us know by using the Got Feedback button so that we can correct the error. The same thing goes for if you notice that the reference that you want to use includes a typo or is incorrect in some way. Please use that reference, but then use the Got Feedback button to let us know so that we can update it.